here's an anticlimax. It's me. I'm going to be talking you through a sequence that I'm creating for Venna's Planet Volume 3, a special edition in full blazing colour. Okay, this is all about altering elements of this sequence to make it consistent with the rest of the artwork in the book, and also adding a few clothes to Venna, or some fragments of clothes to her, because she'd been undressed, having been tied to that gantry, the ironwork there, by one of the other female characters. But I thought it wasn't quite right just to have the poor girl walking around in next to nothing. So I've given her a bit of a chance by adding the fragments of her tunic and a bit of a belt. It's been torn, it's been ripped, but there's something there for her. I think it wasn't quite right just to have to perform the whole thing in a bikini, or what looked like a bikini. So this is obviously in the pouring rain, and I've got to try and remove this gantry because I drew it. This is an old drawing. This is from the black and white version, and when I did the colour version, as I'm doing the colour version, I've altered the structure so that it's a tight mesh of the ironwork. So I have to redraw the background here. Bear in mind that I've increased the speed of this video by about 4 times, because you don't want to be sitting here watching this for half an hour. And I've also cut out chunks of it as well. So you only have to endure this for 5 minutes, because it can get a bit tedious watching this sort of thing go on for ages. I've created a tool in Photoshop so that I can do all these backgrounds very quickly. I know it's kind of cheating, but there's just me working on this. I'd be happy to sit here drawing all those little cross-hatchy lines all over the place with a pen. But I assume that people would like to see this before the year 2092. Now, once I've got that background in, I now get this pre-drawn piece of metal work here. I did this some while ago, so I wouldn't have to keep drawing it. Again, I draw it every time by hand, but it's the time factor. We have to take shortcuts, and this is where the digital medium comes in very handy. You can do all kinds of things that you couldn't do in time. So we add all the colour to that, again by pressing a button. Way, whoopee! Doesn't seem like hard work, but this does take a long time to do, really. It just means that if I can do this quickly, I can devote more time to more interesting aspects of the artwork that do need to be done by hand. So there we are. That's that bit in, but there's a bit more to go on top and some more underneath. Before I get to that, I might wander off and do some other bits and pieces, resizing it again, just to get it looking sort of right. That's it. As you can see, it's quite different from the part underneath, and I'm going to be changing that as well. I was going to not bother with that, but that gets the treatment as well. And here I've simply copied and pasted a section of the ironwork from a bit lower down. Maybe the perspective isn't perfect, but it works. It works. I'm okay with that. I'm also going to move a speech bubble, speech balloon. What do you want to call it? I don't know. Anyway, they're on a separate layer which I haven't included here. But you'll see that in a minute when I put the bubbles back in again. That's Venna's tunic going back in. It's dark red, but under this blue ambient stormy lighting, you wouldn't really see any colour. A lot of the time I do put the colour in, colour everything naturally first, and then take the colour out so that we know it's there where it's supposed to be. Just that one little arm going in there. So she's only got one sleeve, the other one's been ripped off. They tore it off so they could tie her up with it. But everybody's very cruel to Venna. I'm probably the cruelest of all, I don't know. And there's that. That's it. That does look better. That works a lot better, and it ties in now with the other parts of it. There's only a few things to do here now. I'm just going to put some highlights on here, and I will dare say I'll add more as I go along, just so that they're soaking wet in the rain and it's all very dramatic. They're flying through, they're on an airship and they're flying through a storm, and the droner, which contains Sul and Clayton and of course Geezer and Geezer's other Quag friend. And there's the speech bubble going up there. We have to add a stem to it to go down to where Amga is. And that's about it for now. I've made that reasonably painless for you by chopping it down to 5 minutes. So I hope you've enjoyed it, and we'll do some more later.